Ethereum bounces back from one of the biggest dumps in the coin's history, but will this bounce back continue to the upside, or will we be seeing another trace down further to the downside? Guys, in today's video, we're going to see some analysis on the charts and look at some big Bitcoin news that's going to affect Ethereum as well as the rest of the altcoin market. Guys, hello and welcome to the House of Crypto, a channel all about making money in the crypto markets, predominantly looking at Ethereum, but as well Bitcoin, altcoins, and soon to be looking at some NFTs. So if that sounds good, make sure you hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in the markets. Without further ado, let's jump on into the Ethereum chart. Now, as we saw yesterday, guys, in yesterday's video, the video launched when we were around this point down here, and as we saw, we took a nice big bounce off of 1450, which was the previous all-time high all the way back in 2017. Now, as it looks right now, we're looking like a particularly strong situation. However, always worth being aware of what's happening in the markets, thinking about the mentality of what is happening in terms of the people buying and selling, so that we can kind of make accurate predictions based on the fundamentals as well as news about what is going to happen to protect our money and hopefully make some more money. Now, what was really good to see here, guys, is these are on the 4-hour chart, we did see some consolidation here. Okay, we didn't see just a solid bounce back up to the upside. So I'm thinking actually this is adds much more stability, right? If we'd just seen a single shot down and then a bounce back like we saw back here earlier on yesterday, then that would probably be looking a little less stable. However, we saw a big bit of consolidation, which is much healthier to see. That means that the price sort of stabilized after that big drop, when all of those accounts were getting liquidated, which caused that big drop. And that's looking much more positive. Now, sort of a bit of a channel, and it is kind of a bit of a sketchy pattern drawn. I just want to draw your attention to this white pattern here. So at the moment, we've bounced back inside, and we've been relying on these sort of lines to provide us with a bit of information. But this orange line, which is the 200 moving average, 200 period moving average, we've come over the top, and we've turned that into support, which is really positive. We now have these two lines here, and as you see, this blue line, which is the 20 period moving average over the 50, has crossed over, which is obviously a bearish signal on the 4-hour. But, if we can push the upside, then we can see this cross back to the upside. So in terms of whether I'm going to go long right this minute, this is something I've got my eye on and something else I want to be aware of. However, we have this big pink and yellow channel, which obviously we've come down and we have broken out of. But actually, we've broken out of it before, and then it's sort of maintained a rough channel. Obviously, it's not particularly exact. On the top side, it provides a very accurate one, but on the bottom is a bit sketchy in terms of a number of misses and breaks through. But we've got this falling channel here. So what does a falling channel look like? Okay, so a falling broadening wedge. Obviously, the one we've got is much steeper, but as you can see, it starts off narrow and it comes to the lower side where we've got a wider channel, kind of like a sort of a foghorn, if you like. And then we see a break out to the upside. Now, in terms of a target for this, what we would be looking at would be, to come back to this chart, would be for us to take from this end of the channel all the way down to the bottom end of the breakout. The bottom end of the thing, and then come up to where we broke out, and that would then bring us up to this level here, which is around $2,300, right? Now, bearing in mind that probably will take potentially a few days. This would then potentially see us either bounce off the pink line again, or if we were to break through the pink line, and this would then verify this channel being a breakout at the time, we can then come back and we can take our, this is obviously very rough, guys, because I mentioned this sort of the bottom line is not ideal, and we could see potentially a breakout from up here, and that's when we're getting up to $2,468, $2,500, right? So in terms of what we've seen, I think this drop, we knew it was overbought, guys. Look what we saw it on the RSI. It came up and it was overbought, and we saw it a few times, and every time it's hit the RSI here, we see a little bit of a drop here. The drop wasn't so big, but as it came up, there was more and more long positions. Everyone was believing that it's going to continue going up forever, and when everyone's starting to feel like that, guys, we have to take a step back and think about what's actually happening and how people are feeling. And if everyone's thinking that, then it's probably going to come crashing down Unfortunately, you know, it's obviously been bought up and it's been met with a great deal of buying pressure. First here, pushed it right back up, and again, good bit of buying pressure coming in. We then came down all the way down to here where we were all oversold, which I talked about in yesterday's video, and we've bounced back inside. Now, you know, as we can see, guys, we've broken out of this channel. What we might see, and as I often talk about, is we might come back to test this channel, but because of the sort of steepness of the channel, I'm not sure how likely it might be. It might come back and test on this yellow line, and if we see a solid bounce off that yellow line, then this is where I'm starting to look very positive, okay? We could just see this like sort of move up by itself like this, but I'd like to see a bit of a change in terms of the EMAs crossing over. If we zoom out to the daily, then you know it's still, you know, it doesn't look that unhealthy. It might have felt very unhealthy a few days ago when, you know, your accounts were slightly lower than they were on Sunday, but you know it doesn't actually look particularly unhealthy. We just had that big high end there. One thing we were probably aware of is potentially a bit of a triple top put in there, although that's probably played out to where it's going to go. And yeah, looking very healthy to the upside, guys. One thing I want to draw your attention to, just a piece of news that was really big happening in Bitcoin today, yesterday, is that Jack Dorsey, who is the CEO or the head of Square, which is a huge firm over in the States, has updated or increased his holding to $170 million. So what happened yesterday, as that price fell, many people had been waiting for that. Many of the, you know, the smart investors would have been waiting for that dip. I've seen a few people sort of commenting on yesterday's video saying they sold at the very bottom. Guys, when it tends to drop like that, it does tend to, and it finds a bottom. This is not usually a great time to sell. Usually a great time to hold. And I see a lot of people as well commenting that they bought up the dip yesterday. And if you bought the dip yesterday, congratulations. Let me know in the comments if you bought that dip. And yeah, so, you know, I'm not saying it's guaranteed to be coming straight back up to the upside. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. Go away and do your own research. But in terms of what I believe and what I'm doing, I believe that this is quite a positive time for Ethereum. At the moment, we seem to be getting a bit of resistance on the $1,700 line up here. But as you see in the past, that's the kind of the underside of this rising pattern here. So, you know, we'll potentially need to see a breakthrough there before we can start looking at putting in all-time highs again. But, you know, if this continues, we could see potentially another all-time high up at this pink level of 2100, potentially in the next couple of days, guys. You know, in the past when we had that bounce down, we did take a week or so to crawl back up, but then after that we kind of pushed again. So, you know, it's quite difficult to know exactly when it's going to play out. We never know what news is going to come out, whether there's going to be big investments in Ethereum, big investments in Bitcoin. You know, this obviously helps drive the price back up. Guys, let me know what you think down below. If you are new to the House of Crypto, then please hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in the markets. All the guys who watched yesterday's video, I think, found probably very beneficial. Talked about exactly this that we've just seen unfold happening. What I want to cover in the future is something else called NFTs. Guys, Logan Paul NFT sells $3.5 million worth on the first day of release. If you don't know about NFTs, they're sort of digital collectibles that run on the Ethereum blockchain, which is obviously very healthy for Ethereum. And I'm going to make a video tomorrow about how you can create your own or your own NFTs very easily, very cheaply, and how you can basically sell them. I'm not saying you're necessarily going to make $3.5 million in one day, but you can sell them, and you know they exist on the blockchain forevermore. Gary Vee has been talking about them. Many people have been talking about NFTs and what an exciting thing that is. So make sure you come back for tomorrow's video. Make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell, and it will let you know when it's launched. Also, if you are not following me on Twitter, then head over to Twitter. I'll put the link in the description for the House of Crypto. You know, it's quite new, so not particularly many followers at the moment, but put up sort of latest updates, things I've heard. I also retweet news that I've been reading. So, you know, save yourself some time and head over there, and then, you know, whenever I get an update, you'll get updated too, guys. But I hope you enjoyed that video today. Thanks very much. Turn that thumb blue, really helps me out, and I will see you tomorrow with NFT. Okay, thanks very much. Bye bye.